Hello. Okay, so woke up today, didn't feel like doing anything when I first woke up, so I chilled and listened to some podcasts, did my meditation, had a banana, drank some water. Then suddenly just got the feeling of, oh, I'll go to Knaresborough today. I've been looking on the map all the time. Well, I look on the map every day and just see where I can go, what I can do. And I've seen Knaresborough on the map, but just never felt like going. And then today I just felt like going. So I was like, I'm going to go to Knaresborough. Had a beautiful time there. I thought it was going to be cloudy, but the sun's come out and it's magical. So off we go. We're heading on a walk. Welcome to Olivia's sanctuary. We're gonna get into a deep discussion today. Okay, hello. Welcome to Olivia's sanctuary. As you know, we are here to talk about I'm going to say a spiritual transition, because that's what it's been for me. That's what I really want to share, because the reason that this YouTube channel was born was through me doing some deep inner work with myself, and through that I found a new life. Basically, to be fair, I found a life that I had been living in part but not in full. And when I kept getting these urges and impulses and thoughts about doing the things that I'm doing now, I kind of realized that I was literally being guided, like in this way of each thought was it was partly me, but it was like the thoughts were being given to me. And I've always had a thing with that. Like I remember saying at one time, like, well, I didn't think that thought was like provided to me. I remember saying that a long time ago. Never quite knew what it meant, but knew that it was something more than me. Okay, let's get into this. So if you have seen any of my other videos, you will be aware that something big happened at the beginning of the year. I've not really gone into detail. I don't like to talk about it because it doesn't feel necessary to talk about, but for a brief, catch up, whatever. All I need to say is heartbreak. Heartbreak hurts. And you do have to go through some serious shit when you go through something like this, because if like me, it was a relationship where it was like your whole heart and soul, like that person literally felt like they were the other part of you, then when they go, you feel like you've lost like literally half of yourself. And that is a weird thing, because how can that be possible? But like it is possible. And when that happens, it's a bit of a crazy situation. But that's then, and now we move into the newness. So okay, let's start from the beginning. Heartbreak was deep. Heartbreak was intense. It was my first heartbreak, my first love. I had wanted love my whole life. Like I can remember from being very, very young, I had envisioned love, but actually always felt like I rejected it because I just didn't feel worthy of it. I never knew that I didn't feel worthy. It was just a space that I'd always lived in for such a long time. When I met this person, it was like I had had a puzzle piece missing for so long, and then I found it. Oh. Okay, yes. So at the beginning, I was a shell of myself. I went through things I didn't think was possible for me to go through, and now I'm grateful, because never again in my life will I ever let myself get that low. And I'm talking about things where my physical and mental body were not like in existence fully. I didn't want to exist at that time. It was really difficult, and I can say that now. I can say how difficult it was, but there's no need to really go into it. But I worked and worked and worked. I kept seeing things about myself that I really didn't like. I kept seeing traits that weren't nice, that didn't relate to me, like that I would see, that I'd remember that I'd like said things and done things, and they made me feel really disgusting, because I was just like, that's not me, that's not who I am, and I don't know why those things were coming about, because they don't reflect who I am as a person. What the most interesting part is that I tortured myself for months and months and months and months. I did not see a way of me ever being happy again. It felt like the end. I mean, it felt like I was on a one-way track. It felt like there was no like definitive point to this pain that I was going through, and I was angry and I was frustrated, and I was like, he has done this to me. He is not going through the same thing as me. He has moved on. Like, I was fuming, and that went on for months. But I mean, in that time, I was still doing work. I was still doing essays about my old self and how I didn't want to be a part of that anymore. I was self-analyzing every single part of myself, saying, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this. And, you know, I don't need to do that anymore, because I've done all that. But there was a point. There was this day. My cousin came down to stay in Leeds with me. And it was a time where I was on the edge of feeling better, but still really hanging on to this relationship and really clinging to these deep, sad feelings. How do I get on with my life? And I just still was in this space, and it was horrible. So my cousin comes down to stay, and he lives a very free, happy life. And I was saying stuff to him, and he kept saying, all I'm hearing is excuses, Olivia. Like, just excuses all the time. Like, you need to be more positive, just get on with your life. And I was like, oh, like, I just don't know how. Like, I know, but I just don't know how. I was still really low and really negative. And then we went back to Huddersfield, to home with my family, and we had this really lovely night in the garden. We got a fire on, and I was playing music, and we had a really good night. My rabbit was hopping around. She's so cute. The next day he left, and I was in turmoil still. I was thinking of moving out of my flat. I thought I couldn't be alone. I can't be alone anymore. And it was bringing all these horrible feelings, and none of it made sense. None of it. I was just in total confusion, and I couldn't understand why I was still so confused after so much time. I thought, surely this should be over by now. Like, surely this should have been resolved, but it hadn't been, and it had nothing to do with anyone but me. Okay. But I'm thankful of every single step. I'm thankful of everything that's happened, because it's all led me to this point now. I would not be here right now if all of that didn't happen. So, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. So, what happened was, I got home and my mom had got me some wireless earphones. And this time I had been using just plug-in earphones, but I just stopped using them because they always fell out. The next day that night I got the train home. And after I'd been thinking about moving from my flat that I got by myself to live alone, because I'd wanted to live alone for so long. And so I'm on the train home, and the only ticket I could get was first class, but it wasn't expensive, so I just got it. So I'm sat there, and all of a sudden I just get this feeling to listen to a podcast about manifestations. And I just kind of click on any one, and I put the earphones in, and I tell you now, it was such a quick moment of, I am in control of my life. I just suddenly felt, it's all me. I make my life happy. I don't rely on anyone else to come into my life to make it happy. I make my life happy, and then everything else that comes is in alignment with that. So I got the train back. I'm listening. She was saying, you create your own life. And I was like, I create my own life. And I walked home. I did a longer walk. It was a beautiful evening. and I'm listening to this podcast and I'm just thinking, wow, 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 and I'm listening to more and more and more, and then I find more podcasts and more and more and more, and then I find all these things about making yourself happy, about once you are happy and you are fulfilled and you're doing the things that you want to do, nothing is in your way. And I tell you now, from that switch, from that one single moment of putting the earphones in, putting that podcast on, my life has been different. And I think it's been 2 months. I think we've just got to about 2 months, or maybe a month and a half, and honestly the time has gone so fast because everything has been a blur, and I've been so focused on getting myself happy. Like, what a journey, what a whirlwind. And I can say with total confidence that the pain I went through was so necessary to get me to where I am now, because I do not go through that kind of pain anymore. I don't care about other people's business. I stay well out of everybody else's lives, because it's not, your life is not about anybody else's life. Your life is about your life, and once you get into that space, it changes everything. I started meditating, which I've mentioned. I meditate every single day. I started at 15 minutes, now I'm up at 20, and I'm going to start putting it up to about 25 and 30, and then I don't know, see where I go from there. But meditation grounds me so much, and I journal every day. I write what I'm grateful for, I write what I'm excited about, I write about what I want, I say what I want. I live in a space that doesn't allow for what has happened to infiltrate who I am now, because that person isn't there anymore. And I'm just so full of love and happiness and joy, and I take myself on trips every week, anywhere I want. There's no limitations. This weekend I'm going down to Brighton I mentioned it in one of my other videos, but if you haven't seen it, I'm going down to Brighton, to the Brighton Centre, to watch a talk with Professor Brian Cox. It's called Horizons. It's about the birth of the universe and what's to come. Oh my god, which I can't express my excitement for it. I'm so excited. And the beach, and I've never been to Brighton, and I'm staying in YHA, which is 3 minutes from the Brighton Centre, and I'm driving down, and it's just going to be great. I'm stopping at Stratford-upon-Avon along the way, so that's Shakespeare Town, and I'm sure it's absolutely incredible there. So and I've got a camera. I just bought a camera. I just bought a Sony ZV-1, specifically for vlogging, just because that's what I'm doing right now. And it's going to be a lot more crisp and clear, and the audio will be better and everything. So I'm just mega excited. And my videos are going to change a little bit. They're going to be a little bit more creative. I'm going to upgrade my editing software and all that. But yeah, I'm just, if you can see my joy and my happiness. Nature is my baby. Like without nature and ruins and historical places, I'm not sure where I'd be going and what I'd be doing. I'm sure I'd find something, but nature is the key to my ultimate happy space, and it's what I always wanted to do. So fear not. Pain is good, and pain is very necessary. Determination to get out of pain is also very necessary. And what I would recommend as well is, if you're ever in deep pain, know that that pain, it cannot last forever. Even if you feel like it will, it cannot, and it will not. And there's so much brightness on the other side. And here we are. So that's it. That is the talk this evening. I'm incredibly grateful for this YouTube and for people coming to watch and liking and subscribing. It's awesome. It's amazing. I don't see any of my jobs as jobs. I see everything in my life as awesome, fun things that I get to do, that I get paid for my jobs, and I get to share what I love here, and it's absolutely brilliant. So I want the same for everyone else. I want to spread the joy, and I just want people to love life, because life is just incredible. So thanks for coming to Olivia's Sanctuary again. I'll be back soon. I'll be hopefully back with my camera, which will be amazing. So yeah, look after yourselves. Thanks for coming. I love you all. Good luck.